Hard to find a singer bigger than Diana Ross or Barbra Streisand, but both divas are coming under fire for their comments regarding Michael Jackson in the face of calls of a boycott of his music.
The music icon Diana Ross at 80 has been in many interviews.
So he was going crazy over her? Dirty Diana. I thought this song was just about ran like nobody for real. So, okay.
As she candidly reflects on her extraordinary relationship with the king of pop, Michael Jackson. From their shared experiences to the enduring bond that transcended fame. Over the years, there have been speculations that both singers were in a romantic relationship. But was there any truth to this?
That's what he said.
Did Michael Jackson's obsession with Ross extend into a full-blown affair? Join us as we unveil Diana Ross, who at 80 opens up on relationship with Michael Jackson.
If you listen to his lyrics, she was obsessed with him. He said, "Let me be."
The legendary music icon, Michael Joseph Jackson, was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana. He was the 8th of 10 children and was born to Joseph Jackson and Catherine Jackson, a crane operator and a homemaker respectively. His mother was also a devout Jehovah's Witness. Both of his parents had tried their hands on music. His mother, Catherine, played clarinet and piano and had aspired to be a country singer, while his father, Joseph, was a guitarist who performed in local R&B bands. They encouraged their children to pursue musical ambitions, and Jackson's career in music began at the age of 5 under his father's encouragement.
See how much the push of some parents can just be crucial, man. If his parents didn't push him that direction to be doing it so young, who knows?
Jackson and almost all his siblings made their marks in the music industry, including Rebby, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, LaToya, Marlon, Randy, and Janet Jackson. It turned out that their father, Joseph, pushed his children hard towards success, making them rehearse 5 hours a day after school, and was reportedly known to become violent with them. He was said to beat them with a belt buckle or electric kettle cord and to order them to break a branch off a tree if they got a dance step wrong so he could hit them with it. The man practically made his sons into a musical group in the early 1960s that—
I mean, he did that, but look at the result, though. It turned out to be success.
would later become known as the Jackson 5. At first, the Jackson family group consisted of Michael Jackson's older brothers Tito, Jermaine, and Jackie. Jackson joined his siblings when he was 5 years old and emerged as the group's lead vocalist. He showed remarkable range and depth for such a young performer, impressing audiences with his ability to convey complex emotions.
They on here entertaining.
They officially became the Jackson 5 when older brother Marlon joined the group. Jackson has said in interviews that he and his brothers would spend hours rehearsing and polishing their act. At first, the Jackson 5 played local gigs and built a strong following. They recorded one single on their own, Big Boy, with the B-side, You've Changed, but the record failed miserably. The group moved on to working as the opening act for R&B artists such as Gladys Knight and the Pips, James Brown, and Sam and Dave. Many of these performers were signed to the legendary Motown record label. And in no time, the Jackson 5 eventually caught the attention of Motown founder Berry Gordy. Needless to say, Berry Gordy was impressed by the group and signed them to his label in early 1969. Jackson and his brothers moved to Los Angeles, where they lived with Gordy and with Diana Ross as they got settled. The group's first television appearance was during the 1969 Miss Black America pageant, performing a cover of It's Your Thing. Their first album, Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, hit the charts in December 1969, with the single I Want You Back, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart shortly afterward. The group was successful, no doubt, but then, despite that, trouble began to brew from behind the scenes. Disagreement arose between Gordy and Joseph over the management of the boys' careers, with the Jacksons wanting more creative control over their material. The tension continued until the young group of singers officially severed ties with Motown in 1976, Jermaine, however, remained with the label to pursue his solo career. Having changed their name to the Jacksons.
Man, bro, I could watch him dance all day, man. No Diddy.
Label to pursue his solo career. Having changed their name to the Jacksons, the group signed a new recording deal with Epic Records, and by the time they released their third album for the label, Destiny in 1978, the brothers had already become talented songwriters. It is no news that Michael Jackson was a star of stars who rose to the very peak of the entertainment industry.
This looks so fire though, bro. Just looking at this shows me how important a look is, bro. A look really adds so much to it, man.
That Michael Jackson was a star of stars who rose to the very peak of the entertainment industry. But like every other person, he had his challenges and heartbreaks. What tragedies befell him, and how did he navigate them? Peak of stardom. At the peak of his career, Jackson signed a record-breaking $5 million promotional deal with PepsiCo in November 1983, launching the brand's youth-targeted New Generation campaign.
Okay, so that's what I've seen.
However, trouble arose and Jackson ended up filing a lawsuit against Pepsi. It turned out that during the filming of a simulated concert for a commercial, the pyrotechnics accidentally set Jackson's hair on fire, resulting in second- and third-degree burns on his scalp. The musician had to get a surgery done to repair his injuries, and it was believed that at that time he had begun experimenting with plastic surgery. His face, especially his nose, would become dramatically altered in the coming years. Jackson then worked with Lionel Richie in 1985 to co-write We Are the World, a charity single for the non-profit organization USA for Africa. A veritable who's who of music stars, including Ray Charles, Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, Bruce Springsteen, and Tina Turner took part in the project. Without any surprise, it became one of the top-selling singles of all time. And according
Okay, let's get to Diana, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit, bro.
Park that he owned until 2005.
It's Diana, bro.
Named after the fantasy island from the Peter Pan story, it included a zoo, train, Ferris wheel, and 50-seat movie theater. Several exotic pets were kept at the ranch, including Jackson's famous...
All right, look at this comment. The song Dirty Diana by MJ was him telling his story on how promiscuous and conniving Diana was. I'm trying to see what's going on, bro. Where is it at? This guy's talking about all type of other shit.
1960s, as well as one of the world's best-selling girl groups of all time. They remain the best-charting female group in history. In
14 minutes in?
2012 and 2023, becoming the first woman to win the award twice, the latter as a member of the Supremes, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016. Michael Jackson's and Diana Ross's relationship.
Ew, bro, she is ugly. Michael Jackson, you like them ugly females. I ain't seen Michael Jackson with a pretty woman yet.
The legendary musician and the iconic singer and actress seem to have a kind of chemistry going on between them. Jackson's love for Ross initially started off as a mere childhood crush, but with time it developed into a teenage infatuation. His brother Jermaine mentioned in his book that they only became close when Michael came of age. According to Jermaine, he always knew that Michael had always loved Diana from when he was a small boy. However, he knew he wouldn't be able to act on his love for her until he came of age. Diana Ross is 80 years old now and has spoken in a series of interviews concerning her relationship with Michael Jackson. Both singers were already flirting wildly in public by the late 1970s, and at the time, there was no shortage of numerous reports speculating whether the two were having a sort of romance. The first time Michael Jackson met Diana Ross was at age 10, when he and the other 4 members of the Jackson 5 auditioned for Motown Records, a record label in which Diana was the most shining star. Diana first saw Michael and his brothers performing for a charity show, while she was striving for her own career outside her Supremes fame of the 1960s. After that, Diana met all the Jackson 5 and ensured that she would do all that she could in order to help them in their career. After they met, What was fed to the media, and by extension, the general public, was that when Diana Ross discovered the Jackson 5, she simply used her connections to propel them into superstardom. This part of the story has been deemed...
Bro, she is actually so ugly. Like, this is crazy. She's actually so ugly. But you could tell Michael didn't like her like that. Even when in his interview with Priscilla Presley, I believe that's her name, Lisa Presley, his eyes just, it had more sparkle in it with her. With her, it's not there at all.
Untrue. Even before becoming famous, Michael often talked about Diana Ross and how he loved the Supremes. It was not too surprising that when he and his brothers signed to Motown and the family were looking for a place in Los Angeles, the young man in love moved in with Diana. He would tease his brothers, calling Diana his girlfriend.
Bro, what's up, bro? Hey. Yo, what's up with these? Whoa, I'm looking at them now like those is really some small ass shorts. You got some Daisy Dukes on. I remember in the first time, the other video with MJ, whatever video we just seen a couple videos ago, it was a group of them. It was like the Jackson 5, and I was like, damn, they look a little spicy. Like, they look a little sweet. But that was like an album cover, I think. But now I'm looking at more pictures and like, this is just, bro, this look like, what's the tennis player, bro? The black tennis player, bro, the Serena Williams, bro. He got, let me move out the way for y'all. He got Serena Williams legs, man. This is crazy. Why do you have them little shorts on? This was never okay. I don't care if 80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s. Even in the 2010s, bro. People wearing skinny jeans. That's not as bad as these right here. This is ridiculous right here. Can't nobody, no grown man should defend this ever. If you a grown man defending this, will you wear these? Would you want your son wearing these? This is wild.
And
if he was
let anyone
straight,
near her.
assuming he was straight.
Michael Jackson took up a role in 1977 as the Scarecrow in the film adaptation of The Wiz. This was largely due to his longtime friend Diana Ross, who was also named to play Dorothy. However, it was speculated that Ross would only get the part if she could get Michael Jackson, a teen idol at the time, to take part in the film as well. As at 33, she was considered too old for the part.
I agree.
Pauline Kael, a film critic, described Ross's efforts to get the film into production as perhaps the strongest example of sheer will in film history. Michael Jackson's mother, Catherine, once said that when Diana Ross was named to play Dorothy, Michael had further incentive to land a role in the movie. Apparently, he'd been in love with her ever since he and his brothers had been her house guests. He would tease LaToya and Janet, saying, "You're not pretty until you start looking like Diana." J. Randy Taraborelli was Jackson's biographer.
Now, Michael, you know you was wrong, bro. It's no way you really believe that. Don't tell any woman on this earth they not pretty until they look like Diana Ross. And this whole time, Dirty Diana, I thought was a pretty girl. Well, I thought it was actually a make-believe person. But once I figured out it was a real person, I thought it was going to be a pretty woman.
He recounted that in 1977, while on the set for The Wiz, Michael Jackson and Diana Ross would regularly go out at night, attending parties in New York's Studio 54 nightclub. At some points, one of Diana's assistants complained how he had been trying to get hold of both of them all morning as they were late for filming, only to eventually get hold of them on the phone and surprisingly finding out that they were in his apartment and that she had apparently passed the night there. During the shoot later on, it was said
she was staying the night there. So Michael Jackson, he done cracked that a few times. And back on telling other women that they need to look like Diana Ross, I bet 85% of women look better than Diana Ross.
That people overheard Diana talking to some of her girlfriends and said to one of them, and told them something about Jackson not being gay. Michael and Diana ended up confusing everyone, as when an assistant asked Michael if anything had happened between them, Michael replied with, "You'd have to ask her that." And when the assistant asked Diana, She told him he needed to ask Michael.
Yeah, you gotta ask him.
This flirtation between the legendary Michael Jackson and iconic Diana Ross continued for years to come, and the young musician's infatuation only grew with time. But the twist is that Diana never really took the relationship seriously. This is understandable because of their 13-year age gap.
Bro, she loved Michael. She loved him. That's nasty, though.
Although Michael had no problems with the difference in age, and it was never an issue with him, Diana, on the other hand, could not escape the ridicule of society. She could not overcome the taboo of the age and their association when Jackson was still only a child. Being an ambitious woman, she was fearful of how this would impact on her public image, and
That's crazy, though, because she was getting backlash even back then. But when I say that's kind of weird that he had his eyes on Lisa Presley, since she was about the same age, like the same situation with him and Diana, but flip now, I'm getting backlash for saying that. But no, I'm not weird for that, bro. I don't care what nobody tell me. I'm not weird for thinking it's strange that you had your eyes on a little girl when she was like 7, 6, 5, bro. And now you dating her years later. That's just strange, man.
Thus her career. Jackson had a photo session with Diana Ross by the photographer Todd Gray. After the shot, Gray showed Jackson proof sheets, and Jackson simply ordered 2 large prints of every picture. The photographer was left in a daze as he calculated 2 of every single picture to be about 144 prints. But Michael calmly answered, telling him, "Yes, I can count. I mean,
that's not a lot of pictures, bro. Like 144 pics, like, bro. That's not a lot, especially if you Michael. Like, fuck is that? Like $200-300? Like, what's up?
Set for myself and 1 for Diana. Todd, this is magic." Michael Jackson was featured and his presence heavy during Diana Ross's 1981 special. They performed together not once but 3 times. And other than Diana herself, Michael was the only other person who had his own performance. While she was introducing him, she called him her baby, and they hugged several times.
Okay.
The special also included a mini interview between the two where they flirted openly, calling each other sexy. Diana Ross said in Ebony that same year, "I'm crazy about Michael, and I love him a lot. He's been my inspiration. He's a very gentle, wonderful human being, one of the special ones in this universe, and I don't even know if he knows how special he is. So whenever I can be around him, I like it. His aura is only about love." In one interview, Diana answers a question saying she and Michael were in love. That was probably misunderstood because she would come out later to say how he and his brothers were like her children. Now, one can begin to understand that it was Diana Ross's vivacious character and affection towards Michael that allowed fans to misconstrue their friendship as something sexual.
Bro, it was sexual. They did something. If they sitting there calling each other sexy, you don't call your fake mom sexy. You don't call your fake son sexy. They did something. And then it's like, oh, you got to ask her. You got to ask him. Yeah, they did something, bro. I know how people get when they do something. They definitely did something. She touched his willy.
Diana's personality was by nature infectious, and according to sources, she was flirty with all men in public, Michael inclusive. This relationship became Michael Jackson's tragedies, since while it was normal to Ross, he, on the other hand, dwelt on this romantic obsession and did not let it go. He even erected a shrine dedicated to the love of his life in his family home, with photographs and mementos. In one interview, Ross was asked how she felt when Jackson changed his face to look like her. She replied, saying she didn't believe that he did it for her.
Right. Fuck.
Diana Ross's marriage. Diana, however, wasn't romantically interested in Michael's marriage. Diana, however, wasn't romantically interested in Michael and made several attempts to soften the blow for him. As a matter of fact, the public saw her and Jackson as mother and son. This is demonstrated on the red carpet with Michael at the 1981 Oscars, where she said, "He's going to play my son," a statement to which they both laughed.
No, I get it. It's like, I get their relationship. It's like, at some point, they really can't make it serious, so what's the point of even playing around? And at this point, it's like, okay, we know we never was gonna be able to work out. Why not just let's stay cool and to the public, I'll be your son or whatever. But me and you know what it is. Like, they know what it is. They know what it is, but we don't know what it is. But we know what it is because the song Dirty Diana now. Let me be. And in public, he not just gonna bash her when it's time to go on stage and be around her. Of course, he gonna keep it cordial, keep it respectful, keep it mature. But the truth is in the songs, bro. Dirty Diana. Let me be. Anytime a grown man tells another woman or tells a woman to let me be, that means she all on him. Clearly, she was all on him. And he never outed her until that song.
Dad and walked away. But things were not easily let go like that because even with Diana's hints and gentle letdowns, Michael Jackson naively thought in his mind that he and Diana were in a relationship, and he was very hopeful that they would ultimately be together. Michael Jackson once said in a 1983 interview that Diana Ross was everything one could wish for.
Really?
He said he loved her and that he hoped she married him. According to him, she always told him her most private secrets. That was the kind of relationship they had, and it would go on forever. It goes without saying that Michael Jackson was heartbroken when Ross met her second husband in 1985, a Norwegian shipping magnate named Arne Nace Jr. Just a year later in 1986, the two married, and Michael Jackson apparently canceled his attendance to the public wedding at the last minute. Not really surprising if you think of it.
Who is this fake Michael Jackson right here?
According to him, when he heard Diana Ross was getting married, he was happy for her because he knew it would make her very joyous. Still, it was hard for him because he had to walk around pretending to be overwhelmed that Diana was getting married to this man.
Damn, bro, imagine you get your girl lost by this guy right here on the right. That's heavy. That's heavy.
He'd never met. He said he wanted her to be happy, but he had to admit that he was a bit hurt and a little
what's
jealous.
up, Michael Lips?
In 1986, during the American Music Awards, Michael showed up halfway through the show, but he wasn't alone. He showed up with Elizabeth Taylor, a suitable replacement for Diana Ross. It was also noted how Michael Jackson appeared to be visibly upset.
Bro, so Michael okay, he got an acquired taste. He liked the older crowd, should we say. And he kind of dressed like something Elvis would wear right here too, ironically. But yeah, he liked the older crowd. Out of all the women in the world, you choose her though. Why?
It was also noted how Michael Jackson appeared to be visibly upset and relatively cold towards Ross during the show, in which he reluctantly celebrated the success of USA Africa, We Are the World charity single. It appeared that his feelings for Diana didn't just die immediately, though.
Like, why is he here with her?
He went on, appeared that his
like, why is he here with this old woman right here, though?
Feelings for Diana didn't just die immediately, though, as he went on to write several songs about Diana Ross and their relationship, while also recording material for his Bad and Dangerous albums. Songs which were released included Remember the Time in 1992, in which Jermaine, Michael's brother, wrote that
remember the time. That song right there. What this got to do with Diana Ross too, or what? Let me go back, make sure I catch this.
Songs which were released included Remember the Time in 1992, in which Jermaine, Michael's brother, wrote that Michael had told him that the song was written with Diana Ross in mind, the one great love that, as far as he was concerned, escaped him. Before
that makes sense. Oh. Okay, so then what are the fans talking about? Like, they don't know whether if they got romantic or not, or if they was just their son and mom. That's enough proof right there. Yeah, that song sounds like it's a real story, too. I thought it was going to say Jermaine wrote it. But I could tell Michael writes his music or takes a big chunk of it. But he was on the phone like, he said when we stay on the phone from night till dark, on the beach, on the phone, you and me, then till 3. What about us, girl? Yeah. So he was talking about, that was, you could tell that was coming from, it makes so much sense. You could tell that was coming from a real place. That's why his music, you can feel it in the music so much, because it's coming from real experiences. He was talking about Diana Ross this whole time. Okay, that's crazy. So he was talking about Diana Ross. And then, remember the times about Diana Ross? Dirty Diana about Diana Ross? Okay, that's what's up. She gotta feel special. You gotta feel special. And I wonder if when she first heard this song, if she knew immediately that it was about her. I wonder if she knew. The best songs come from real experiences, man.
One great love that, as far as he was concerned, escaped him. Before that, Michael also released Dirty Diana in 1987 on the Bad album. The song caused many fans to speculate that although the song was about groupies, it was also aimed at Diana Ross while he was angry at her for leading him on and then getting married to another man.
Right,
It should be noted, however, that in spite of having two sons, Ross's marriage was not happy. Diana and her husband were legally married, yet they lived not just in separate countries, but on separate continents. She has mentioned in interviews that Norway was cold and dark, so she couldn't live there. Also, she didn't want to move away from her older kids, family, and career in the U.S. Diana Ross secretly saw Michael Jackson even during her pregnancies. He was devastated and heartbroken, but hadn't gotten rid of his feelings for her.
Man, he really loved that woman, man. I thought he didn't give a damn about her, but it seemed like if he wrote these songs about it, but it's like, I just can't believe that he would look at her. I know call me childish, whatever, immature. I'm just so focused on looks, whatever. Am I wrong because I'm a man focused on a woman's looks? Is that not how we all think? Is that not why makeup is here? Because they want to look good for who? For the man, right? It is for yourself, understandably, but it's also for the men as well. Let's be real, right? So it's like, okay, the makeup might be for you, but you put on your clothes a certain way. You make sure you look good and stuff for you, also for the men, though. So for him to look at Diana Ross and to genuinely be attracted to that, it's hard for me to believe because I couldn't see myself doing that, bro. And you Michael Jackson, bro. Like, you got all the women on you. All of them. Every show you go to, they passing out over you, man. They literally dying over you. People used to get put out on stretchers, bro. Over you, just coming on stage, kicking your feet, spinning around. You know what I'm saying? And you choose Diana Ross, bro. Like, you losing your mind over Diana?
He wrote in his autobiography, Moonwalk, I've always loved Diana, and I always will. But everything has to come to an end. And so as the years zipped by, his interactions with Diana became more and more infrequent as she focused on family life, while he extensively promoted and toured around the world. Diana Ross told the Rock Hill Herald in a 1991 interview that when he wanted to see her, he saw her.
I get it though, because it's like, it might not even just be about all her looks. It's probably the fact that he's so familiar with her. He feel like she knows him. He doesn't have to start over and get to know somebody new. She knows his whole family. She knows what the business is like. He can talk to her about whatever. He can confide with her. He can tell her all the secrets that he can gossip about the industry to her, and she'll have her own sides of everything, her own takes on it. I understand that.
When he didn't, he kind of closed the door. There was no reaching him, there was no finding him, and there was no anything. Yeah. He was just this elusive love out there. Although Diana and Jackson weren't together, she always had a place in Michael's heart. When she visited him in hospital in 1995, he called her his world. He had Lisa Marie Presley, his then wife, literally thrown out of his room while preparing for Lisa Marie Presley.
So that's what Lisa looked like as she got older? Okay.
His then wife, literally thrown out of his room while preparing.
Damn, she still got those same, like...
Lisa Marie Presley,
She still got those same, like those eyes, like her eyelids be like halfway, where it's like, in the interview, she had that serious face. Her eyes was like, I'm trying to do it. Like, her shit be like halfway open. Like, I can't even do it. But she still got it, okay. I thought she was doing that for the video, like she was mad at the interviewer, but looked like that's just a part of her.
His then wife, literally thrown out of his room while preparing for Diana's arrival. And when she came, he lavished her with affection and gifts. After Michael Jackson's death in 2009 and many years since they had a close relationship, Diana Ross was surprisingly mentioned in his will. In his will, he stated that he would like to leave his children with her in the event of his mother's death. This act, honoring her as the great mother she was to her children, and knowing in death she would be best to guide his own, but also honoring their lifelong friendship, the lasting bond they developed over the years, and a last reminder of the special place she always had in his heart.
It's like a real movie, like these real characters. And I know it's like once he dies, now that he's dead, she think about him all the time, probably. Think about what it was and what could have been and what should have been and what didn't and what did. Damn, that's crazy. It's like people would go through the same things. It's just different stages of it, because you got relationships at the elementary, middle school, high school, college, poor, rich, homeless, middle class, on camera, not on camera.
Michael Jackson's legacy. Jackson has been slammed the title and referred to as the King of Pop for having transformed the art of music videos. And
I was doing this all day yesterday.
Referred to as the King of Pop for having
that right there, I was just driving, just hitting that hole, just back to back, just hitting that hole. I was hitting it better yesterday. I was really, I can't do it right now. Just, I was hitting that hole. That shit fun right there.
Transform the art of music
I like
videos.
That. That's my favorite move.
Paving the
One more
King
time.
of Pop for having transformed the art
Bro,
of music.
Look how hard he be hitting that bitch.
And referred to as the King of Pop for having transformed the art of music videos and paving the way for modern pop music. The iconic musician had an unparalleled worldwide influence over the younger generation for much of his career. His influence extended beyond the music industry. He impacted dance, led fashion trends beyond the music industry. He impacted dance, led fashion trends, and raised awareness for global affairs. He literally shaped the music industry as his music and videos fostered racial diversity in MTV's roster and steered its focus from rock to pop music and R&B, shaping the channel into a form that proved enduring. Jackson's music emphasized racial integration.
Damn, it's like, just off of these videos, I'm getting glimpses of what it was like when he was performing and stuff. And you getting zapped back into that timeline just instantaneously, just off of him dancing. Who would have thought just you dancing would capture people's attention like that? I didn't know about Michael Jackson until he died, bro. I didn't have the pleasure of some of y'all like growing up with his career and stuff. Once I found Michael Jackson, I had all of this catalog to just go through now. I used to sit at home and just watch lyric videos all day. Michael Jackson, bro, dead ass. Michael Jackson Wii game came out. I was on that, man. He died 2009. I believe it was either October or August.
And environmentalism and protested injustice. He did these in songs such as Man in the Mirror, Black or White, Heal the World, Earth Song, and They Don't Care About Us. He was so successful that Guinness World Records recognized him as the most successful entertainer of all time. Rolling Stone also listed him on their lists of the greatest singers of all time. He is considered one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century, and his contributions to music, dance, and fashion, along with his publicized personal life, made him a global figure in popular culture for over 4 decades.
I think he was the best performer. Him by himself. Best performer on stage. You can actually watch him for 10, 20 minutes straight.
content officer
Keep
of
your
Vibe
attention.
Media Group, and the editor-in-chief of Vibe, Daniel Smith, described Jackson as the greatest star. Steve Huey of AllMusic called him an
Okay, so it look like they're pretty much done with Diana, but that was interesting, man. Sheesh, I found out who Diana Ross was in this video, y'all. It look like Diana Ross is just a normal person too, man. She's just a normal woman with success and with some attention and with publicity. But really, these people are still just humans, bro. And I see people, y'all in the comments like, why are we talking about people who's dead? And bro, if y'all don't want to join these conversations, don't watch the video. Nobody's forcing you to watch the videos. Why are you watching videos of people talking about people who's dead? I don't know these stories. Y'all keep saying like, oh, it's old now. Who cares? It's not old to me. I don't know these people. I didn't know Lisa and Michael's relationship was like fake. I thought I was like one of the only ones that thought it was fake or something because I never seen people speak on how it was fake. But watching it, I'm like, this is obviously fake. And then in the comments, everybody's like, yeah, this is fake, this is fake. And then people's like, yeah, we already knew it was fake. Why are we talking about it? Like, bro, I didn't know it was fake, bro. Calm down, y'all. Like, damn, it's just YouTube. Don't watch it if you don't want to watch it, bro. We out of here, though. Shout out to the ones that rock with us. Gone, let's get it.